Obviously, another good win midweek. What do you put this turnaround down to?
Me. No.
Simple as that.
No. We got what we found. We found a nice balance. We found, we've got players in form, and form is everything. Absolutely everything. Everyone looks very fit, and there's a certain element to that where when you're optimal as an athlete, you feel it. You feel it when you go down the tunnel. You have a bit of a glow about yourself. You feel a little bit more invincible. And we're playing good football, and the team's starting to, and I say starting to find a pattern to its play. And they've been very enjoyable to work. Like I said, it's a nice balance at the minute. I don't work with Reed the same way I work with Alex Bradley or Murphy as I do with Knowles and Hunty and players like that. So it's quite a nice balance at the minute for me personally, because I've got my foot back in my development camp or my development days, and I've also got my manager's cap on with the likes of the older ones. So it's a nice balance. We're in form, and the players are playing with real confidence and belief.
Yeah, you told us last week that you didn't realise that you were 7 points off the playoffs. Do you realise now you're just 3 points off the playoffs?
I thought it was 4. Someone told me it was 4. I think Terry tries to tell me, and I don't really listen to him. But I know we're getting closer. But that's just a byproduct of performing and winning. So it's important that I did another press today with the non-league paper, and I said to them, all we've done is the minimum. What we've done so far is the minimum, the bare minimum of what we expect. And I did always say I had belief in us and in the players, but all we've done is the bare minimum. We've still not got ourselves the right side of wrong, and we know we've got so much more to do. Harsh, I know, but I know it's quite harsh, but that's what I believe. I believe that we're only doing what is expected of us at the minute, and what I want really is I want to exceed those expectations.
And Chesterfield are next up. What sort of a game are you expecting from them?
Well, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, when you go in as a young manager, you always hope you're going to get the resources to try and shape the team. And the one thing I've got to say about Chesterfield is that they've backed James and given him some resources to reshape or re-identify the team, restructure the team. And he's had a small period of time there, but they're certainly showing a lot more ambition on and off the pitch than what they were. So these are tough games. I really like going to Chesterfield. It's a good club. I like the area. I spent a year in that part of the world when I was at Rotherham. So I quite enjoy the away day at Chesterfield.
Yeah, and they beat you, didn't they, back in October at Hewish Park? But
everyone did in October.
Yeah, I was going to say much has changed since then, haven't they? But will you talk about that game at all in the build-up to this one?
No, I don't think we will. I don't think we'll talk about the game at all. I think we might discuss Tuesday night and what we liked and what we didn't. I don't envisage talking about Chesterfield in any way, shape or form. I don't normally talk about the opponent. I may touch on a few smaller details with the older players, but with our young players and how young the team is, we need to keep developing them and their own performances, so that regardless of what the opponent does, we're optimal as much as possible. So, we got a lot on at the moment, Terry and I. We're having to work very hard on different aspects of the football club and different aspects of our football team. But like I say, it's been very enjoyable. So every time we go into a game now, we go in with hope and anticipation. And some of the young ones in particular are very exciting to watch right now.
Yeah, and just finally from me, Darren, how are the squad looking ahead of the weekend?
Yeah, very good. I mean, from our many discussions that consistency of naming a team or consistency in naming a squad or even a back four has been tough this year. So just to be able to name the same squad on Tuesday night for the second time in a row, still chop and change a couple of roles and positions, but just to be able to say same squad and reward that 16, 17 players with continuity is a real bonus, because I've not been in that position at all this year.
Good luck for Saturday, Darren. Thanks for your time.
I kind of liken your situation to that bloke on the A team. Do you remember him? I just love it when a plan comes together.
Hannibal.
Well, yeah. Well, your plan is certainly coming together, isn't it? I mean, you must be chuffed as nuts the way it's going.
Yeah, like I said, it's been enjoyable for a couple of reasons. Obviously, the winning is great, and you know all the positivity that comes around, and you know the energizing that comes with winning. But you know, I've really enjoyed working with the young ones. I really have. I think Alex Bradley is, every game I watch him play, I see something new. Every time I see him play, I think you can do so much better. Every time I watch him play, I think when he's in his late 20s, he's going to be a good player, the lad. And he's playing so well. And the great thing about Tuesday night was that, I said after the game, it was almost like a driving range for him Tuesday night. He had the ball so much, and he had to play so many different types of passes and so many types of forward runs, and he had dribbles, he had runs with the ball, he had crosses. It was a real plethora of opportunity for him to practice. And very rarely in your managerial career do you get a situation where you're 3-1 up and so comfortable, 2-1 up against 10 men and so comfortable. And, you know, it was a good chance for him to really kind of nail down some of the work we've tried to do in training. I was really impressed with him. So, like, you know, he's one of 4 or 5 that, again, I've really enjoyed working with. And like I said, putting my development cap, my coaching cap back on, really, which has always been my trade, to try and get the best out of these lads come Saturday. And then you work with Ruben and Murph and Charlie and Adam Smith, Jimmy Smith. And it's not about coaching, it's about preparation, it's about optimal performance, it's about physical readiness, and all those other types of things which are very much about management and man management. And so yeah, it's been good fun. It's been good fun, but I must say the young boys have really given us a new lease of life.
But it says a lot for your choice of players that, you know, a lot of the players that you brought in. Oh, hang on. It says a lot, though, Darren, for your choice of players that you've brought in, because they've all been, well, I can see they've all been very successful.
Yeah, I think the first part of the season our recruitment was shoddy, really shoddy, desperate. Too many shortcuts were taken, and I think once we had that transition at the beginning of December, the additions of Knowles and Sanupe, Dagnall coming back in was a huge moment for me personally. Those types of Max Hunt. Sorry, I've forgotten Max Hunt, who's been brilliant. Those types of players, when they came in. There've been some good decisions there, and the likes of Matt and Alex, they're here to win games now, but they're also here to propel themselves to new heights, and hopefully, obviously, Yeovil benefit from that. And Yeovil's always done very, very well at that. You know, we all see Luke Ayling now, Chrissy Cohen when he was here many moons ago, and you know there must be so many more examples to that. But we've got a history of that, and they've done brilliant. And, you know, working with Knowles, and I know Nerfield's not our player, but working with him and Billy and Max Hunt, they've been absolutely fantastic to work with. So receptive, very enthusiastic. They need, you know, those young lads need a wallop up the backside far more than the older ones do. Staying on top of them, ensuring they're focused and motivated. So that's really important. That's really important. But some of them decisions look good decisions now, and they look bad decisions in a month's time. You know, we're all very sporadic and momentary in kind of those judgments and those assessments. But I'm enjoying working with them, and if this is only their start of what they can produce for Yeovil, then we're in for a really exciting future, no matter the outcome of this season.
But I suppose you've got to be a little bit careful that everything's going really well at the moment. We talk about playoffs, and it's one thing getting into the playoffs, but you've got to stay there, haven't you? And you don't want to get sort of too complacent just because you've had a good run. You've got to keep the pressure on.
I call this season, when I speak to Scott all the time, I call this season snakes and ladders. It seems like we roll the dice really well. We get on to a couple of ladders, we jump, and then we roll the dice wrong one weekend, and we slip all the way back down that snake. And I think there's still so many more moments like that yet to come. The nature of the league, the nature of any league outside the Premier League, is very, very inconsistent. I mean, the way the guys on BT Sport speak, during games is the same way that I watch the folks on Quest and the EFL show speak about the Championship. It's all so tight. Anyone can beat anyone. We're all saying the same things from probably the Championship down. And, so the snakes and ladders thing's a nice way of kind of cultivating how I feel about it. And there will still be a point where, we do slip back down before we climb again. But as long as we keep showing that promise, as long as we keep showing ambition, as long as the energy and the work ethic have just been incredible, as long as we keep showing that, we'll be most of the way there. And then we're starting to build a really, really good squad for the football club.
And you've still got a kind of unsung hero in Terry Skiverton backing you up all the time. How's he getting on with the job and with what you want him to do? He's
magnificent. He's a great guy. I give that man more problems and more headaches than any other human being alive. I mean, I'm brutal with him, but he's such a big character and he's such a strong guy. He's fine. He can take all that. I'm a pussycat compared to what he's probably worked with in the past, but he's very good. His work. Sorry, lads. His work. There we go. His work with the two centre halves, working on their timing and attacking of the ball. We were a little bit disappointed with them, and then Tuesday, that kind of work came to fruition really from Terry, where we saw Hunt get the first contact on the first goal and Billy score with the only contact on that second goal. So, I'm really pleased when things like that come off for people like Terry, because to me, and I'm still very much a guest in Yeovil and in Somerset. To me, he gets a hard time from people. The most successful captain, what a brilliant player, brilliant servant. And I'm telling you, from one coach, where coaching's my trade and coach education's my trade, a wonderful coach that could coach all the way up. I've seen worse coaches in the Premier League than Terry Skiverton, let me tell you. He does a fantastic job, an absolutely fantastic job. And like I said, me and him, we're not really. If you were designing a pairing, you probably on paper, psychologically profiling, you probably wouldn't stick me and him together, because it is quite vociferous. Would that be a good word?
You say so.
Okay, it's quite spiky. A lot of sparks fly. Let me tell you, not in a romantic way, that's for sure. But we're a good pair. We're a strong pair, and we have a huge belief in each other, which you need to have at times. At times, I need him to reassert my beliefs, and at times I need to do it to him. So, but yeah, look, I give him the worst time ever. Everyone had a day off today, but I made him go in and work. So it's well, there we go. Hey ho, tough calls.
Finally, from me, Billy Sass Davis was a loan. I think I'm right in saying. Is there any news of him staying or
yeah,
staying?
Billy's going to stay for another month at least. I can, if you're asking me right here, right now, with a very, very pretend crystal ball in front of me, I would probably think he'll be with us, and I'd like to think to the end of the season. But we're doing it a month at a time, which meets the needs of crew who have been brilliant. Dave Artell's been magnificent. I knew rowing with him on the sideline years ago would come good later on in life. But Billy's been great. He still hasn't spoken to me. I still won't know what he sounded like. But his performances on the pitch have been very assured, very mature, and very dominant. I mean, I love the way he attacked the ball for the goal on Tuesday.
And any update on the injury situation of the other players?
No, Wilkinson still. I think Wilkinson's going to be April now. I don't think he's going to be back in March. Collins is getting fitter and fitter by the day, but we just want to make sure we get him back to really great fitness while we've got two lads doing so well. It gives us a chance to really work on Lee. Sanupe had a bit of a setback with his groin, so he's still strengthening his groin. Staunton and Lawson, you know about. I think that's it. I think everyone else is fit. Charlie's getting fitter by the day, but so this is the difference. At the beginning of the season, Charlie would have had to go straight back in the team with no training, and at the moment, Jimmy's doing such a wonderful, wonderful job in all facets. By the way, I mean, people aren't there anymore. People don't know how great a talker Jimmy is. He's the best communicator in our squad on the pitch by an absolute country mile. And he's doing such a great job. It allows us to get Charlie fitter and fitter and fitter, despite his whining and his moaning. We got a good chance to make sure that when he comes back in, and he will, because it's Charlie Lee, that he doesn't come in and break.
Well, good luck Saturday, Darren, and let's hope you can get 3 more points.
Thanks, mate.
Go for it, Paul.
Okay. Hi, Darren. How you doing?
Good, you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. You mentioned a couple of weeks ago that 1-goal games was going against you this season. Do the wins at Boreham and in particular Dagenham suggest that might be changing?
Well, the reason they went against us is because we didn't have 2 goals in us, and now we look like we're back. See, my teams have never kept lots of clean sheets. They just never have. Ever since a young coach, they never have. Probably down to my, relentless, incessant nature of let's go for it, let's get another one, let's kill them off, let's be ruthless. I've never been able to manage games. I've never been able to sit off people. I've never been able to kind of just, I don't know, for all extensive purposes, park the bus. I've never been able to do that. We played Stockport the other day, and the new manager there, Simon Russ, is a long-time friend of mine, and he said to me after the game, he said, "You've got no idea how to sit off anyone, have you?" And I went, "No, I couldn't be more bothered about looking like a coward like some people do by sitting themselves on the edge of their own box and hoping that we make a mistake at the other end. I can't live my life like that. I don't want to live my football career like that." So because of that attitude, we are starting to make more chances. We are starting to create more chances, but look, that's not Darren Sarll. That's heavily down to Ruben Reid. And in terms of the clinicality or the execution of those chances, that's heavily down to Reece Murphy and Joe Quigley. And then if you throw in the young lads who are now starting to score goals, then them as well. But Ruben has changed that, because what Ruben does, Ruben allows us to receive the ball higher up the pitch, and Ruben allows us time to get nearer him so that we can keep the ball higher up the pitch. So many games in that first 10, we never kept the ball high up the pitch in any way, shape or form. And then you related it to the year before, and Richards used to keep it for us, and those types of players. And, Hippolyte would run with the ball for such a long period of time. So would Ramel Hutton, Worthy when he was in form, so it was difficult first 10 games to find a way in order to keep the ball higher up the pitch to make these chances. But with the recruitment of Ruben, it's made things a lot simpler. We know what his qualities are. We know how we need to bring his qualities out. And Ruben, I don't know if you saw it after the first goal the other night, Ruben hit the most wonderful volley, beautifully clean, beautifully struck. and I think it hit the goalie in the face, and everyone went off celebrating, and Ruben just looked at me, put his arms up and just went, what have I got to do to score a goal? He hit the goalie from a yard the other day with a diving header. Murphy tapped it in. He hits the goalie from 4 yards the other day, and Jimmy Smith taps it in. But what I always say to Ruben here, I think Ruben's been involved in 80% of our goals, or had the last touch before the goal, 80% of our goals. It's an incredible contribution to winning games, you know, and he's a miserable sod at the best of times, but he, I love it when people go off celebrating and he just walks back. I think it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's, it just encapsulates him as a human being in one moment.
Yeah, you touched upon that you always like your team to score goals. You've always seen that you can get goals from anywhere, and I think Barnet highlighted that.
Yeah, no, it was, you know, like I said, I was really pleased, you know, not only for Hunt and Billy for their contributions to the first two because of, you know, the work Terry had done with them, but I was really pleased, obviously, that Jimmy's back, you know, scored a goal again. Good finisher, Jimmy. I know he's playing a different role for us, but we all know of his capabilities and his instinct in the penalty box. And Josh is getting better. He's getting more confident and comfortable with travelling at speed. Lots and lots of times in a game, Knowles has been a revelation, and a revelation especially in the away games. His ball carrying, his quality. He's got good quality, Tom, as we've seen with his last two goals, and you know they've done really well for us. And in Reece, we've got I would say the informed centre forward in the league in terms of goal scoring. And we all know when Reece gets in that vein of form, there's very few that are going to stop him. So, no, we're happy with what we're doing. But we're happy knowing we're doing the bare minimum. We're happy that we've got to that stage, and now what we've got to do is we've got to exceed all expectations all over again, which for me sometimes needs another level of performance and an even higher level of player. And we've got to try and get our players to that level to ensure we break the next barriers down.
Lovely. That's all from me, Darren. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, Darren. How you doing?
Hi, Alistair. Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, most stuff's already been covered, so just a couple of things really. Obviously, the chairman issued a statement last week suggesting that the club was having to take a loan to finish the season, and I gather from Scott that that's still kind of an ongoing process. How difficult is that for you guys, especially now you're bang in form, the prospect of sort of participation in the season being in the balance a little bit?
No, it's not a problem for us really. I mean, I thought he's going to end with, I thought the question was going to end with, how difficult is that for you knowing that there's no money? And I thought, well, I've been working at those clubs for 20 years. I only had a year in the Premier League, so 19 of those 20 have been in the same boat. But I think the league's fine, Alistair. I really do. I think the league's fine. I think that every week we get a chance to kind of rebuild our reputation, our standards of performance. I think is a blessing. Like I said, I really enjoy going to Chesterfield. I've always liked going there. It's a lovely ground. It's a proper football league club, and they're always good games, no matter where they were. We had a really tough game there last year when John was manager, and it'll be a tough game again. But every game we get to play is a blessing. There's so many people still out of work. We're in work. We're able to work. We work in an environment that, for the majority of our employees, they're super fit individuals. And they've got great health and balance in their life. So we feel quite fortunate, but we've enjoyed it of late. The first bit was hell on earth, but we've come through, and we're starting again. And I make this point to the players so much. We are doing the bare minimum. Don't think you're starting to be overachieving or I'm this good or that good. You're doing the bare minimum, son. We got to keep going. We got to keep pushing these boundaries. So I think that's important. And I'm not trying to be a clever, psychologist in those messages. That's what I believe. I believe if we'd have been 10th all season, we'd have been moaned and groaned at, because the bare minimum should be that we're challenging, and that's got to be at the forefront of our motivation every time we play.
Yeah, I guess I was just sort of referring to Scott suggesting that if you can't get the loan, you'd have to put you guys all on furlough, which clearly you don't want at the moment. What kind of assurances is he giving you that you're going to be able to finish the season?
None really. I'm never one of them that feels like I need to know that. I'm a bit old-fashioned in that way. I work until I'm told not to, and we just keep going. Until someone says, "Darren, stop, take your boots off and get yourself home," you're on. We just keep working. I think I don't ever get a feeling from him, and he's never used any words to really kind of endorse that feeling or show that feeling that we're stopping. I always feel like we're going. He's obviously really happy with the form at the minute. He's really happy with our style of play. He's very happy with some of the young ones and some of the old ones, some of the senior players. And when he talks like that, obviously it gives you an extra spring in your step as a manager. It gives you that little bit of belief in yourself that everyone needs. We're all human, and that we can achieve. And hope is so powerful, such a powerful feeling, such a powerful emotion. And we've still got great hope for this year. So I've got to be honest, I've not had one inkling that we're not going to carry on working.
And you have managed to put together this incredible run of form to get yourself back in the mix. And you've already sort of highlighted that's the bare minimum. But it really feels like you got something to hold on to play for now for the last couple of months of what's going to be a busy time in a crazy league where some clubs are playing, some aren't. Some have played 15 games, some have played 25 games.
Yeah.
It's just a weird year, isn't it, to try and fathom out altogether.
Absolutely. The weirdest thing for me still is no fans. I mean, no. I mean, so again, when I was doing some press earlier, I was talking about the playoff game against Barnet where we absolutely battered them second half and hit the post, hit the bar, hit the post, hit the bar, missed a chance, one of their legs, hit the post, come out, and you just go back to that and think, if that Thatcher's End was full that day, would that little bit extra of intimidation, encouragement, excitement, noise, atmosphere, would that have been the 0.5% to pull that or suck that ball over the line? And I still find it quite strange. And the big wins we've had, the Weymouths, all of the standard ones where you're playing your derbies, Torquay at home, those moments at the end where we celebrate with our supporters in the Thatcher's End in particular. Those moments really connect people. They connect the players to the supporters, and they connect the supporters to the players. And we've missed that. And because we haven't got that, we haven't almost got that that relationship, that real strong relationship that you have when they're there. So that's been the strangest thing for me. I mean, not having them and not having that. I've always said it when I used to come to Hewish Park with Stevenage. I used to feel an anticipation, an aggression, an expectation that always made me get myself on my toes and think we're gonna have to be good to beat these. So it's we've just got to keep going. Strange season, absolutely. What was stranger than Yeovil going 10 games without a win in the National League, first 10 games? I mean, that makes it weird in itself. What makes it being bottom on the 1st of December and being so close to the playoffs by the beginning of March, that's weird. The change around, the turnaround, that's been strange. It has been loopy-doo, but luckily for me, I've had time to adjust, and I've been given the opportunity to adjust and be a little bit more adaptable and flexible. And we're starting to build a really great group of players, and they're in great form. So we look forward to it, but unfortunately, not every game's going to be like Tuesday night. There's going to be, like I said, snakes and ladders. It's probably the best analogy for what this season's been like for us.
Yeah, just finally, I mean, you alluded to supporters. I haven't looked at the playoff dates and when they would be, but there has to be the incentive possibly. So we're talking about in May where there may be some limited limited crowds. So that has to be a big incentive.
I'd not thought of that, by the way. I think that's a great incentive. I think that's a big one for us, and one that we probably should address with the players. But it's we've just crossed halfway. It's, you know, I'm really bad at looking ahead, even in the best of times. The only thing I've always had an ability to really look ahead at is a player and his development and his path. I've always been quite good at that, but that's been through practice. In terms of fixtures and when we can play these and the permutation of winning there and there, you know, we've only got one target every game, and that's the next one, because we know what it's like to be completely at the other end, like Barnet were Tuesday night. You know, that was us. That was our performance levels beginning of the season. So we're just very grateful that we're all still together. We're very grateful that we've kind of rolled our sleeves up together and put ourselves in a position of challenge. And I do mean it. I just think we've done the bare minimum so far, and we've got to exceed those expectations and that anticipation that our fans have for us in this division. So long way to go yet. I feel like this has been 10 seasons, this first half, and especially without I know we had a break, but in the last lockdown, but it wasn't really a break, was it? The anticipation, the anxiety of when are we coming out of this? When are we doing that? When can we do this? No one feels like they've had really sort of like a mental rest. So, you know, if the second half of the season is going to be as tough as the first half, then can you imagine how fat my cheeks are going to be at the end of this season? They're going to be enormous. Grey hair, lines across me, and I look like Gordon Ramsay by the end of it. So.
Quiz show.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a quiz show now. What the hell? Cool. That's good for me. Thank you very much.